What up? What up? So we got a lot to talk about today. A lot of Bears news. So my man EJ's been itching to talk about these Bears, so I'm gonna let him start today.
Yeah, man. Got a new D coordinator. Got an assistant D coordinator who I'm not 100% sure about that hire, but we'll get into that. And then also that's the Bears schedule, man. It's like we need to definitely take a look at that because dang, it's rough.
I mean, even when it's not rough, it's rough with these Bears. So, but like you said, the schedule for whatever reason, I'm guessing it's because we made the playoffs. That's why they made the schedule so tough. Um, But I guess we can start with that then. We can start off with the schedule. Who we got first? Who we got first week?
But they not showing it. Let me see, because I don't think they showing it first week, but they showing it like these are our away opponents. The first like four of them, they haven't like organized it week by week yet.
Okay.
But of course, we got our normal division opponents. So one of them, the Rams, obviously they got not Jared Goff, but Matthew Stafford now. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be rough. Aaron Rodgers, pretty sure he's gonna still be with the Packers. Ain't worried about the Vikings, Kirk Cousins. Then we got the Lions, with now they got Jared Goff. So it's like ain't
Yeah.
nobody too worried about him. So it's like that's these four games. I don't know how you feel about it when you see it.
The Rams is the only team that ever really gives us fits. Like for whatever reason,
Yep.
Sean McVay just out coaches um Matt Nagy. But that 2018, we dominated them. But that's because we had that Vic Fangio defensive system. So
Yep.
that's what really won us the game. I mean, I think Mitch Trubisky threw one touchdown, so there was one offensive touchdown all game, and the rest were field goals.
Yep.
So, um, not worried about Jared. Jared Goff, like you were saying. So, the only team out of those three that I could possibly see us losing, besides the Packers, is the Rams. So we can easily go 2-2 with that. In the first 4 weeks. That was the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, that was I think that was the four of our away opponents.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it doesn't go based on weeks right now. Okay, because they
Yeah,
don't
they
have
just
that.
showing the away opponents. Let me see, and then we got one more for the other away opponents. Is this it? Dang, I'm trying to think. Is this the away opponents? Well, these are four other teams we got to play, which
Okay.
is Niners, Ravens, Bengals, Giants. So
Damn, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, we ain't really that
I
great
don't
against
I don't
mobile
think we've
quarterbacks.
I don't think we've faced them yet. So right? I don't think we've seen them here. Or we've faced them at all. So that's gonna be very interesting. Okay. I'm gonna get ready for that game. That's gonna be a good game because it's either gonna be Lamar Jackson destroying us with his legs, or it's the defense is gonna be able to stand up. So we'll see. Like we'll see. It's hard to say what the offense is gonna do because we don't even know who our quarterback is. So
Yeah, honestly. Oh, okay. These four are home opponents.
oh,
So
these
these,
are home. Okay,
yeah. So we're gonna be playing these teams at home.
okay. Who you
Yeah.
who you got? Who you worried about here?
Um. Well, obviously the Ravens because they got you know Lamar Jackson. Who knows what's gonna happen with the 49ers? 49ers, they gonna have a lot of depending on the salary cap situation, they defense is gonna be back to where it was before they got all them injuries last year. So we'll see about the 49ers. Giants don't worry too much. Now Cincinnati, normally I say okay, they don't worry too much, but uh is Joe Burrows, is he gonna be back next year? Like when is he gonna be back next year is what I'm saying. Like because if he's a pretty good young talent and I don't know for whatever reason, Bears just have a hard time with really decent quarterbacks. So it's like I feel like if Joe Burrows is playing a game, that might be like one of them games where it's like, well, I don't know. We'll see how they do. But other than that, it's like I don't know, man. I feel like the Ravens out of those four games, that probably be the worst game for them. That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be a good test for our new D coordinator.
That's true. That's true. And we actually got a little clip from our new coordinator. So stay tuned. Let's go on to the next one.
Let me see.
Oh,
So
that's a tough schedule so far. You ain't lying, especially if Joe Burrow comes back, because then that becomes like a 50-50 game.
yeah, bro. And then these are away opponents. These are four more of our away opponents.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
got
The Seahawks.
Seahawks on the road, Browns on the road, Steelers on the road, and Bucks on the road. That's brutal, man.
That's brutal, especially if Tom Brady comes back.
Yes, that's gonna be
What are the
brutal.
odds that he comes back though? It's like he'll probably want to go for 8. I would want to go for 8 if my body's telling me I can still go. So, oh damn, this is tough right here. Seahawks, bro. All these games we could easily lose these games,
Yes, yes. This is brutal. I mean, we
and
beat
this
the
team
Bucks last year, but that was like that's before the Bucks hit their stride.
facts exactly. So I don't, damn, damn. Okay, so let's see the last four then. It's
All
probably
right.
just a bunch of divisional opponents again.
For pretty much. So the last
Okay.
four that we got on here is Lions, Vikings, Packers, Cardinals.
Oh, the Cardinals, man. So we get a couple mobile quarterbacks. Yikes! It's gonna be a fun season. I'm not gonna lie, because
Yeah.
we're gonna find out like if finally the coach has just unlocked another level, or if he's gonna be gone. Like we're gonna it's that's why it's gonna be fun because we don't know. Like we're so like the future is so unpredictable for the Bears right now. That's what's making it fun. Like if it's easy to get discouraged, but I mean we only got one life to live. Like try to be positive. So let's see what happens. It's 100% what you rough. Exactly. So I don't know, man. It's like all those teams are good, and like some of those teams are young with upcoming players, like Kyler Murray with the Cardinals. Joe Burrow, like we're talking about with the Bengals. And I really hope we move up in the draft and like get one of those because they're saying that there's 5 good, not prospect, but 5 QBs out there that are going to be at least serviceable. It's if you're
Yeah.
going in the first round, that's what's expected of you. Obviously, Trubisky didn't work out, but Trubisky wasn't like a bust, neither like Ryan Leaf.
Oh
He was
God.
not a bust like that. At
Yeah.
least Trubisky got a little bit of game.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have him as a backup than like Mike Glennon.
Yeah.
So
Real talk.
it's like but he didn't become what we needed to him for him
Right.
to become. So I understand if they're gonna let him go, which I think they are.
Yeah.
I did you hear the tweet that he was saying he had zero interest of coming back? I don't know if it was a tweet or if it was because I read it online like really
Oh,
really fast.
Trubisky said that?
Yeah, he was like it was like sources or something like that. They were saying that he doesn't want to come back pretty much.
Oh,
And feeling is practically mutual at this point. I mean,
yeah, honestly.
he didn't really do anything that's like, oh my god, let's go get him. So or let's bring him back. Um, but yeah, that's just how I feel. I don't know if you want to go into what the defensive coordinator has to say, or if you want to add a little bit to that.
Um, now we can go into what a new D coordinator. We can play that clip.
Okay.
Adam Johns.
Hey, Sean, congratulations. I wanted to ask you about just how this defense has been built. You've been here since Mel Tucker and Mark Trestman. Just the personnel changes and how what you look for as a coach has changed in these players as this defense has changed personnel wise, and what messages or what you can convey to Ryan Pace as you try to take the next step of getting back to things here.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And the biggest transition that we went through was going from that traditional 4-3 to a big system of a 3-4 defense. And it took us a couple of years to get the personnel the way we wanted it. And I think we're at it and close to it. And then there'll be some adjustments, and there's always changes year in and year out in this league. And we're going to continue to harp on the type of brand of player that we want. And we're going to be physical. We're going to be tough. And we're going to value speed and those things, and brains and smarts. So all of those things I think are going to be important as we evaluate guys, and we're going to find the roles that fit these guys' skill set.
I mean, I kind of like what I'm hearing.
Yeah, same. It's like it's encouraging. And what I didn't really think about until like I watched that interview was how long he's been here. It's like I feel good about that because he's learned under, all these other D coordinators and he's moved up to get to this position. So he's going to probably know, okay, these are good things that I learned from these dudes. These are the things that they weren't good at that I can probably improve on, certain weaknesses they had as a D coordinator. So I'm like, hoping that he learned from all that and it helps him become a better D coordinator for us. Because I felt like, well, everybody who's a Bears fan knows, after Vic Fangio left, defense kind of tailed down, those couple of years. Like we weren't as good since 2018. Like when 2018
True.
was like the peak, and then 2019 and 2020, it's just like we got a little progressively worse. So it's like I'm hoping, you know, that he's learned. I mean, I'm assuming that he's going to be running like, I don't know, we'll see. I'm assuming that he's going to be running 3-4, because that's the last two D coordinators. That's what they've done. Pagano and Fangio, they both ran 3-4. So I'm assuming he's going to be doing the same thing. I highly doubt he's going to come in and say, okay, well, we're going to go back to a traditional 4-3. Most teams don't even run it. And the way that the Bears personnel is, is it works better with 3-4 than it does a 4-3. So, I'm assuming that he's going to come in, get to know the guys, acclimate him to his system, how he wants to run things on defense. Hopefully, it's more toughness. Hopefully we playing, more man-to-man coverage, not so much we don't break type defense
Right.
that Pagano was running, and hopefully, we get back into being a top 5 defense instead of like a top 15 like we were last year.
I agree. I agree. Um, and I just feel like they just need a little bit of help as far as some young guys because we have a
Yeah,
lot. We have a decent fusion of older guys and some younger guys, but all our good guys are older.
yeah,
Like our name guys, like Mac, he's about to be 30. Um, Quinn, he's already above 30. Let's see, Eddie Jackson's about to be 29. Kyle Fuller's about to be 29. Like, that's not in the world of sports and football world. That's not young anymore. You're like a veteran. You've been like, and Kyle Fuller's been with us since like 2013, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like his eighth season or like 2014. It was like something like it was like right after Lovie Smith era. That's when we drafted Fuller. So it might have been Trestman's era. I got to go back and look at the facts on that. But I'm just saying these guys are older, so we need to look for some good rookies. Like John, that was a great line. There's a lot of guys on defense that are pretty good coming out. Like for some reason, this year's draft is stacked. Like it's good guys in every position. So if Ryan Pace doesn't fuck it up, he can get at least 3 good day one starters in those first 3 rounds. And
Good.
first 2 rounds probably gonna go QB tackle, and then with that 3rd round, I wouldn't see why you would use it on anywhere else other than defense. You have to go get another young guy. If not, a linebacker to help Roquan, because come on, let's face it, Danny Trevathan is old and he's moving slower every year. So we need to go get
Yeah.
Roquan another stud like Roquan.
Yeah.
Solidify the linebacker position. Khalil Mack, you still probably got a couple of years of him being, if not good enough to still get double teams, So
Yeah.
you just need a couple more good guys, and the defense is going to be fine. It's just what you say almost every week. We're tired of having this conversation about who is our quarterback. We got to go find one guy. He doesn't have to be like Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. Like literally, we just need a guy that can come in and throw the ball. Like Justin Herbert came in slinging that motherfucker. Like Justin Herbert was a great pickup by the Chargers.
Yes.
But like I said again, like what you say, I'm just tired of having this conversation of who's going to be a quarterback, and that's what we really need to focus on, because the defense is still young enough to get a couple more young guys in to still be elite. Like, I mean, we're just known for our defense. That's never gonna go away. Like, we
Yeah.
had a bad moment with Trestman's era, but come on, we're known for our defense.
Yep.
So I'm excited. We'll see what's gonna happen. Like what I'm saying, I like what Sean said. So let's just go and get it, man. We got what, a couple months? It's February 15th, so we got about 2 months till the draft, and then 4 or 5 months until preseason games. So
Yep.
we still got time to get some talent out there. Did you hear about JJ Watt?
Now, what about him?
He got released by the Texans, and then he
Oh,
was
yeah, yeah,
seen
yeah.
here. Yeah, like I know, like he's just a name at this point because like he hasn't been putting up the stats. But if he's not asking for too much, go and get him. Like that will help. That will help Khalil Mack, because if he's getting double teamed, Khalil Mack getting double teamed, Robert Quinn is going to be running wild.
Yeah.
I heard we're going to get Eddie Goldman back next year. He's opting in, so Eddie Goldman's going to be back to solidify that middle.
Thank God, because
So,
he was a pretty
like,
good player.
facts. So just to wrap my part up, it's like I don't think we're going to be bad in defense for the next couple of years. It's just the offense, man. I'm just worried about like who's going to be our quarterback. Like, we thought it was going to be, what's his name, Carson Wentz. I'm glad that didn't go down.
Yeah, man. I mean, every time I look on ESPN and I see Bears, Carson Wentz would be great. I seen something today about, Carson Wentz could make the Bears a possible Super Bowl contender. Every time I see his name in the Bears in the same conversation as Bears, my heart drops. I'm like, oh no, please. Please, not Carson Wentz. No. It's like, come on, man, y'all making the same mistakes over and over again. It's like, why y'all want to recycle old quarterbacks nobody wants? Like, nah, man, let's not do that. I mean, here's the only thing I can understand. If you can get him right, okay, maybe, and because he's young, that's the only way I understand that. But it's like, that's a maybe. We've had so many maybes. No, we good. We don't need that.
Right.
I'd rather they draft the quarterback like you've been talking about, like move up in the draft and get a quarterback because there's some good guys in the draft. So it's like, nah, don't do that. If you want to go young, then either try to get Deshaun Watson or pick up one of these guys in the draft. Otherwise, don't even mess around with Carson Wentz. Like, forget that. That should be dead. Like, anybody
Right.
trying to hear that. But, going back to what you were saying before, it's like, you know, honestly, I'm tired of having this conversation about quarterbacks. Like, our defense, though, our defense should be good, next year. I highly doubt they're going to be worse than they were last year. Honestly, I feel like there's going to be improvement. I
Right.
can totally see that happening. It's just like, what's going to happen with the offense? Like, Nagy's supposed to be this offensive genius, but it's like we really ain't seen all that come out yet. So
Where's it at?
hopefully, like we start to see some improvement. Cause like, man, when have we had a good offense? Like, like really, like it's same crap every year. But we'll see. We'll see.
I agree. Same story, different day, and I hope by this time next year we're singing praises that they made a crazy move, like traded 2 first rounds and moved up and got Justin Fields or something. I don't know. Get somebody though. But this was a great pickup though. I personally believe them getting Patine, I believe is his last name.
Oh, Mike Pettin.
The Patine, oh Pettin, that's how you say it? Okay.
Yeah.
That was a great pickup. Uh like if you go back against the Bears, like he always brought it. Like his defense was always good against the Bears for the last couple of years. Now we got a guy coming from their system that knows kind of the ins and outs of the offense. I mean, he had a scheme sometimes during practice, against the offense. I'm sure he knows a couple of offensive plays. Maybe he could help, and he's been not a head coach. I'm sorry. He's been a defensive coordinator,
Yep.
so he can kind of help Sean out a little bit. So that I think this was a great pickup.
Yeah, and it's like I totally agree with everything you said. Like I think honestly having him, because it's like his defenses with the Packers, they made improvements every year. I heard a Packers fan saying that. So it's like, well, we got him. It's like also he was inside them. His defenses was practicing against the Packers. So it's like it's some stuff that some knowledge that he could probably drop over here that can help us when we play the Packers. So it's like
Right.
it's stuff like that, and it's like his like I said, his defense has made improvements every year. He was there with Green Bay. Now, in saying that, he's not going to be calling the plays, so that's a good thing because he made some stupid
Exactly.
mistakes as a defensive coordinator in Green Bay. But in saying that, this should help out our coach, our new
Yeah.
D coordinator. Having him because he has experience as a D coordinator. So yeah, I totally agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah. That's whoever decided on that. I don't know if it's Nagy that I'm pretty sure it's Nagy that gets picked his staff. So great hire. And we'll see what happens. So to wrap it up today, we can focus a little bit on the Bulls, unless you have anything more about the Bears you want to share.
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about their salary cap situation because I was looking
Oh,
up some
okay.
stuff. I
Yeah,
was
we can
looking
do
up some
that.
stuff about their
I think I
salary
saw that
cap.
they were like negative, right?
Yeah, I think I saw where, as of like right now, they'll be like, if the projections are correct, they'll be like what? Yeah, it says right now only the Bears have about $5 million of cap space for this current coming up season. So it's like,
Yikes.
and it said, but that's not counting any rollover cap from last season. So they might have a little bit more. But if they want to
Okay.
start making some moves next year, they're gonna have to find some players to cut. I seen one of them possibly being Jimmy Graham, with Bobby Massey. They could extend a couple players like Eddie Jackson and Akeem Hicks, because spread out their contracts a little bit. Save some money. They could do that. But as of right now, it's like they're gonna have to do something because the cap usually goes up. I think next year they're saying it's actually going down because of all the revenue the NFL lost last year.
That
So
makes
that's a
sense.
situation we got to think about coming up. Because I know we want them to get free agents, but they probably gonna have to pick and choose. Okay, this dude is out there. That might also come into play with Allen Robinson. What they decide to do with him, like franchise tagging or trying to give him a long-term contract. Are they gonna be able to do this, considering how much money they currently have to spend on free agents and stuff? So that's a lot of stuff to consider in the coming months, like free agency and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
okay, that might affect who they decide who they're gonna draft, stuff like because rookies ain't gonna get the type of contract that a veteran gonna be getting that's been in the league for
true,
years. So
true.
that's
Yeah,
just
you can
some of the
save a lot of money with well, in order to get the rookies, we have to have draft picks, and we only have, I think it's if I'm not mistaken, we have one, two, one, two, and three. We have no four. We have a five and like two sixes or something like that. It's like something weird,
yeah,
but we have to trade players in order to get draft capital, and we don't really have anybody that's good to trade unless you're going to trade people on defense.
yeah,
Um, which I'm actually okay with. Like they can trade. I'm even okay with them trading Khalil Mack as long as we got a first round back.
yeah,
Like I'm
same,
like at this point, like I feel like we're not gonna win the Super Bowl next year. Like let's be honest. Like we don't have the
yeah,
roster
yeah,
unless they get somebody that's in a like one of those top three quarterbacks, which they're more than likely not going to pull off a trade for that.
yeah,
But we're not gonna be good next year. Like not at least how good we want as fans if we want to be. So let's be realistic. Let's trade good players like Khalil Mack, where we can still get a first round or a couple of second rounds, and then you start just building. Because at this point, we don't know the future at all. But if we, it's like we're almost certain we're not going to win the Super Bowl just based on the roster we have. Let's think about the future then. But we'll see what happens.
yeah,
We got plenty of time, and I just like the fact that they're not giving up. They're at least talking to teams about potential players like Derek Carr. They're even trying to get him over here. Which I'm actually okay with Derek Carr. Derek Carr is not terrible. He's
yeah. I
better
take
than
Derek Carr
Trubisky.
over Carson
I think he's
Wentz.
better. Yeah, and he's definitely better than Carson Wentz, if you ask me.
Yeah,
Um, I feel like Gruden kind of fixed him a little bit.
yeah,
So we'll see what happens, man. It's right now. It's just too early to tell. We'll just see. I think everything is going to come down to how the draft goes, and that's when they're going to start deciding. Okay, this is the player we're going to cut. I don't think we're going to see any big names cut or moved until then. To be honest.
yeah. Agree. Totally agree.
And then, with that being said, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about the Bears?
Oh no, that was it.
Okay, let's move on to these Bulls, man. What's going on with these Bulls?
I mean, it's times where they just look phenomenal. Like that game against the Pelicans, they look great against them. I mean, they set a record for Bulls for in 3-point shots made by the Bulls in the game. Kobe White went off. Zach LaVine went off. It's like, but it's never consistent with these dudes, man. It's like their number one problem that I've noticed, or they got two problems really. It's their it's their defense. Their defense is terrible. They are so bad on defense. My God, they're terrible on defense, and they make too many stupid turnovers. It's like if they could cut down on some of that, they honestly, instead of being, I think they're what 10-15 right now. They could be
Yeah, that's
15 and
exactly
10.
what they are.
They can literally be 15 and 10 if they cut down on some of these stupid turnovers and play better defense. Their defense is just a joke. So it's like they are like below average. Like you would think they could get one of those lower spots in the East, but because they're so inconsistent on defense, and Zach LaVine literally has one night he has like big time help, like Kobe White that one night. The next night, it's like he drops 40, but the next person that's on the squad has like 15 or something. He gets no help. Like his
Right.
help is
That's
not
not gonna cut it.
consistent. Yeah, so it's like this team, like they got the talent, but it's just so it can be frustrating at times, man. Cause it's like what frustrates me is how bad they're on defense. Their defense is just so bad. Like they make so many mental errors. They're terrible at the pick and roll. It's like it's hard watching them during the pick and roll. They leave shooters open all the time. They don't rotate. They don't get back on defense. It's so many defensive mistakes that they make that just kills them. And then dumb turnovers that don't help either. It's like turnovers that come at the worst times. Like, what are you doing, man? So it's
Yeah.
like last week, like they had that really great game against, the Pelicans, but then they turn around and play the Clippers without Paul George, just with Kawhi, and it's like Kawhi just killed them in the mid range. They couldn't stop him. I mean, there was nothing they could do, but it's like the Clippers, they clamped them on defense, and then they also Bears. The Bulls couldn't stop them. So it's like, you're not going to be. You want to be a playoff team. In order to be a playoff team, you got to beat playoff teams, and they
True.
can't do that. They can beat up anybody else. It's just when it comes to these playoff teams, they just totally become like average.
Yeah, and like you're saying, like they handle the teams that are either their level or lower. They handle them just right.
Yeah,
But it's like they're like under pressure. They bulk under pressure or whatever it happens when they're playing these good teams. Um, I think the defense should have gotten better with this new coach. Like I thought that's why we brought him over here. Because the Thunder last year had great defense with him. Now, could that have been a little bit had to do with some of the players that he had? Some of the players over there are kind of more defensive minded. Like during the playoffs, you saw them. They were holding some teams down pretty good. So
yeah.
it could have been that as well. And these guys they didn't have the best coach. What was the last coach? Hosenberg or something like that? I forgot what his name was.
Last coach we had was the heck was his name before Jim Boylan was our last coach, and before Boylan we had Fred Hoiberg, and
That's
Boylan
that's
was
what I was
his
saying. Yeah,
yeah,
Hoiberg.
and Jim Boylan was Fred Hoiberg's assistant. Then Hoiberg got fired. Then they let Hoiberg be the coach.
I see. But you
I
see
mean,
what I'm
not
talking
Hoiberg,
about?
but Boylan.
Boylan. Yeah, it's like why would you take somebody from Hoiberg's regime to be the coach now? Like I don't. That was maybe it was to save money. I'm not sure what the play there was,
I
but
thought it
like
was
you
dumb.
see what happened. Like that guy clearly wasn't a good coach,
No, he's
and he put
terrible.
all these bad tendencies into our players now that they have to try to like they have to change that, and it's hard to change something when you're so used to it.
Yeah,
Um, but like you were saying though, they just couldn't stop Kawhi Leonard. It's like, and everybody knows Kawhi Leonard, or speaking about this Clippers game, everybody knows that Kawhi Leonard is practically gonna do the same move every single time.
pretty
Like here,
much, man.
I have a little clip. Let me see if it'll play. Perfect. There we go. Like these are just a little bit of the highlights, but what I was looking at is like I was looking at Lou Williams get to the basket. There's Kawhi Leonard's little jumper. Like you know what he's gonna do. I don't understand why you're not blocking him, why you're not putting two guys on him even. Then Zach LaVine does what he does, got a nice jumper now. Like the guy clearly is balling, he's doing his thing. But like you said, the defense is just terrible.
Yeah, man. Their defense is an absolute joke. And some of the stuff is there's really nothing you can do about that. That's just hard to guard. I don't care who's defending that, but it's like that was a nasty play right there. That
I
could
don't
have
know how
been.
that went in.
I don't know either. I wasn't expecting that, but it's like they just can't see here with another Kawhi just backing them down. This is a mismatch. Garrett Temple can't guard Kawhi Leonard.
And why are you not why is I think number 2, why is he not coming down? Like you're supposed. It's Kawhi Leonard. You're supposed to be doubling this guy. You
Yeah,
know he's.
honestly, they should have been a double team immediately. Like, but
This was disgusting right here, bro. I had to show this.
oh yeah, that was
I
nasty.
the way this man took that to the hole, bro.
Yeah, that was nasty. Like that was real nasty. And it's like he he has the potential to to make like plays like that to score big, but once again, it's just inconsistent. Like Billy Donovan's trying to get Kobe White to play more point guard, but
Mm-hmm.
that's just not his position, man. Let's just
Yeah,
face the facts. He's a two guard at a point guard's position. Like he's not a point guard. His best asset as a player is scoring. He can score. He's not like a facilitator. And yeah, I get Billy Donovan wants to make him more of a facilitator, but it's like at the same time you got to work with your player's strengths. Kobe White's a
true.
scorer, point blank. Period. Should he get better because he plays a point guard position? Should he get better at distributing the ball? Absolutely. I think Zach LaVine's probably averaging more assists than he is. So it's like that's just something he's gonna have to work on to get better. But at the same time, in the process of him getting better, he still needs to continue to do what he's good at, and that's scoring.
I agree.
And hopefully he keeps that up.
And I think he will. Like the sky's the limit for the guy. To be honest, like guy got hops clearly. He kind of takes care of himself when he's driving. He doesn't do too many crazy things. You know how like Derrick Rose, we was used to him doing like the most acrobatic layups. He doesn't really do that. Like he's kind of like a pure scorer passer. Like he'll score first and then pass, but he's not doing nothing crazy, which I love that about him. He needs to take care of himself. And as a point guard, you shouldn't really be down there with the trees all the time.
Yeah.
You should be, taking your shots. But he already had a jumper coming in. Like what I seen him do in the NCAA tournament a couple years. Like this guy was shooting lights out. So I knew when the Bulls got him, I was so happy. I was like, yo, we got a shooter. And
Yeah.
like you're seeing, like the guy is starting to rise. He just got to get consistent, like you were saying. Like we just need consistency out of him.
Yeah.
And we don't need him to put up 20 consistently. What we need to see is he needs to be averaging about 8 to 9 assists a night. So he should be damn near having a double a night, and then giving Zach LaVine about 15 to 18 points.
Yes.
When you're doing that and you're putting 18 points yourself, your guys are going to be in games because Zach is going to do his thing, bro. Zach is going to get to the basket. He's going to shoot. He got free throw game. Like, come on, Zach is a star. Like me and you were talking about before we started the show. ESPN is finally starting to catch on that Zach LaVine has a rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude's here. So I seen that you had this potential Bulls trades. What have you heard? You heard anything?
Yeah. So I keep hearing about a trade for Lonzo Ball. Like, honestly, okay. If they talking about bringing Lonzo Ball here, okay, my thing is, who are they going to replace? Are they going to replace Kobe White? Trade? He's going to be involved in trade. Who's going to be involved in this trade? Because I keep hearing Lonzo Ball's name in trade talks, and I'm like, okay, he would fit in with Zach LaVine, but at the same time, I'm not ready to give up on Kobe White just yet. So I don't know if that trade is involving Kobe White getting traded with two, or they trading Kobe White, involving Kobe White in this trade, or he's going to be here in addition to Kobe White. I don't know. But I keep hearing his name in trades. And also, I've seen a trade that I actually would want them to get is Nikola Vucevic from the Magic.
Yeah.
He'd be great here.
He'd be a great pickup.
He'd be great here. I seen one potential trade where they would give up Wendell Carter Jr. and a couple of draft picks and Otto Porter Jr. Y'all can have both of them. If we can get Nikola Vucevic, like compare him with Kobe White, Laurie, if he can stay healthy, and Zach LaVine, that's a really good lineup right there.
I agree.
Because Nikola Vucevic is an underrated player. He's another guy, good player on a bad team. Yeah, they made it to the playoffs last year, but they've had a lot of injuries and stuff this year, so they kind of like falling back like in the lower half of the lower quarter of the East because they got injuries and COVID situation and stuff that they had to deal with. But get him on the squad, and it's like that changes things. But honestly, they
Fact.
need to do something. I think the trade deadline sometime in March. Something needs to be done. You want to keep Zach LaVine on the squad. It's like you don't want him to get unhappy to the point where he's like, I'm not going to ever win here. I want to win because all he really wants to do is win. The dude has never been in the playoffs. He wants to make
Wow.
it to a playoffs. He wants to be on a winning team, which I completely understand. But if stuff don't start to change here, he going to want to walk. And I can completely understand it. I wouldn't want to be here. I wouldn't want to always be on a losing team. It sucks to lose. Me and you, we play basketball. We know if we know how it feels to lose and we know how it feels to win. So it's like
Fact.
the NBA players have the power. If they don't figure something out soon, it's like you will start hearing about hearing about rumors about him wanting to leave Chicago because that happens too. You hear little whispers about, well, Zach LaVine's not happy. Zach LaVine's not happy. You'll start hearing rumors about Zach LaVine wants to be traded, and you see what
Right.
happens with
Right.
these NBA players that want to be traded. They get traded.
They get traded. I mean, James Harden, prime example.
Yep.
If a player, it doesn't matter how good he is, and the organization is like, yo, we don't want to give him up. If a guy is unhappy, that creates like friction in the locker room, and then it's just like a downward spiral after that. So,
Yeah.
like you're saying, like if this guy wants to go, he's gonna go. So, with that being said, I really hope he gets help because. I mean, Lonzo Ball would help, but that's not the answer. Lonzo Ball would just keep him here for maybe another season, tops.
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball is not keeping me in Chicago.
Yeah. Honestly.
Now, the trade I keep mentioning, who would keep me here in Chicago, is Bradley Beal. But that's in itself, it's like, does he want to come to Chicago? The player has to want to come here too. Sometimes, in order for it to happen, it's rare when a team is just going to trade a player because you have to be trash practically for a team just to trade you, and you have nothing to say about it.
Right.
Like
Right.
or a rookie, or you're just not known. Like somebody like Bradley Beal, you're probably going to have a little bit of power over where you want to go.
Yeah.
So, and who wants to come over here if all they have is Zach LaVine? So it's just gonna be me and Zach LaVine. So it'd be another like John Wall and him situation, even though Zach LaVine is way better than John Wall, if you ask me. So we'll see what happens though. You have any more clips you want to show from the Bulls?
Nah, I don't think I got any more for the Bulls.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna wrap this up just because it's getting a little late. We can do, let's see here. Okay, we went through everything. That's perfect. We do some shout outs. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Oh, I'll go first. So shout out the wife. She's watching, the kids while holding it down here. And, you know, who else do I want to shout out? Let me get a shout out to you. You got a kid on the way. So shout
I
out to
appreciate
you.
it.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Can't wait. Praying everything goes right with the baby. Hopefully
Appreciate
you
it.
get what you want, man. So yeah, shout out to that.
We'll see it. Maybe I'll be showing him this video.
Yeah.
I want to shout out my wife too, man. She's going through a lot of body changes. So,
Yes.
props to you. It's her first kid, so she's never, so her motherhood is beginning for the first time for
She
her,
gonna
which
love it,
is
man.
it's awesome for me to witness.
Yeah.
As her husband, the father child, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. That is
And
awesome, man.
shout out to whoever has been watching this stream and watching from the minute we started. So, Josh, if you want to comment, whoever you are, so you can get your comment on
I
the
think
live
it's
stream.
Josh. I think it's my brother.
And if it's Josh, props to you, Josh, for checking this out, man. We got to get you on here. Just holla at your brother, bro. Like, if you want to come on here on the next one, whenever we talk Bears and Bulls, we're gonna talk some Cubs when they start. So,
Yes,
man, it's
sir.
we're just trying to keep this active until Bear season. That's when we're gonna get it really rolling again.
Oh yeah, we gonna have a lot coming up soon too, especially with the draft coming up.
Facts, especially with the draft. And then last shout out you, EJ. You put tonight's show all together. You did a wonderful job, my dude. So I appreciate you learning the in and outs of this because
Appreciate
that
it, bro.
help is tremendous, man. So good job, brother.
Appreciate it, bro.
And with that, man, that's Mike and EJ Sportscast, man. We'll see y'all next week.